Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, COVID rewrote the employee handbook. We'll be talking to a leading national expert on HR and benefits next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox. Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm a small business owner, and just when I thought I had my arms around COVID, there's a new variant. Things keep changing. Do you allow employees to work from home? Do you mask? Do you require vaccinations? There are just a myriad of issues facing small to large business owners in this country. To talk about that today, one of the most successful thought leaders in HR, D.W. Bobst. He is the president and CEO of TrendHR. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, so COVID threw everybody for a loop. You're an employer. There wasn't a handbook for COVID, was there?
No, I don't think anyone had a handbook ready to go. It was something, obviously, that the world wasn't prepared for, and obviously still trying to work our way through it as a country and a world today.
Yeah, and you're a fast-growing company. I see your TV commercials all the time, and anybody who watches local news sees this man. You're a wonderful business owner, and what I like about the fact that your company is a fast-growing company, but you still have this kind of boutique feel that your employees and your clients are not a number. They actually matter, and there's one point of contact when somebody hires you.
Yes, that's a great point. We make sure that the client touch and the experience is the most important. We start there and then make the ripples go from there. One of our most important things is that you get a live body because and someone to answer your initial question, because the people who call us, they're having either a payroll issue or a doctor benefit issue, or today, like at COVID, you have somebody that's trying to come off a leave and they just have immediate questions today. They don't want a voicemail and get called back 3 days later.
And it's a thorny issue, and most small business owners are really good at what they do, but the HR thing is kind of a slippery fish, isn't it? Because if you don't handle it right, if you're not using the right tone, you can chase off some really good employees.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jeff. The tone, I think, is everything. In some of our discussions in the past, I think you've handled your situations remarkably, and our goal is just to come alongside the employer and just give them some human resource advice to help guide them along. We don't have the answer to everything, but just to help them along that path and kind of bolster what they would want to do and help them continue that opportunity to have a good employee experience.
Sure, and it's kind of dangerous for a CEO to just make it up as they go along. I mean, there's lawsuits, there's a lot of trouble that somebody can get into if they don't handle it right.
Yeah, I mean, a CEO should never be involved in the human resource aspect, or we don't agree with even like an office manager or some position like that, because they should be focused in on what they do. I mean, one of my favorite taglines is "Do what you do best, let us handle the rest." And these employers or CEOs didn't get into the business to handle employees. They created a widget. They have a service like you do. They're trying to make money. They're trying to provide for their family, and they obviously need employees to be able to help them reach their goals. And so it should be a win-win situation where the employees want to work there and that the employers are actually excited about the experience on their end as well.
Absolutely, and I know personally from working with you in the past, you get rave reviews. We found a great testimonial video. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
With the employee benefits that TrendHR is able to offer us, they help us with employee retention. We're able to offer 401k, and they help administer this for us. The cost savings that we have had with allowing them to take care of our benefits is allowing us to do some expansion that we're currently doing, rebuilding our office space.
If you're managing your payroll and all your benefits internally, stop doing it. Call Trend.
Do what you do best and let us handle the rest.
Let's talk about some of the issues you're facing right now. Some employees don't want to come back to work. There's hiring issues because some people had been paid too much by the government and sat at home. So there's staff shortages. I mean, this is a tough time to be a business owner, isn't it?
Oh, it's a real tough time. But at the same time, I think the people who think out of the box and take care of their employees, they find that most of them came back. There is an obvious fear, and if you had some kind of underlying conditions, I mean, obviously you don't want to put your life in jeopardy. But there's, like you say, there's a middle ground. There's some people that took advantage of the government assistance, and they're just not really wanting to go back to work. And so if the government's giving out money, obviously some people are going to take it and continue that opportunity. So you're right. There is a challenge, but I think in the end, if you're really taking care of your employees, they know that, and most people want to come back to work and provide for their family and have opportunity to grow as a person.
Yeah, and the media loves you. We've got an article from the Dallas Business Journal that we're going to put up on the screen. And I remember when we worked together a few years ago, there were mornings when you'd do back-to-back interviews with radio stations across the country. Do you enjoy talking to the media?
I do, Jeff. Most of them. I mean, you're very easy to talk to.
Thank you. You're kind. The interview's still young, though.
Yes, exactly.
So let's also transition into commercial real estate, because you told me we had prepared the show to talk about HR, but you said something before we went on that was fascinating to me, that you've really gotten into commercial real estate.
Yes, it was another one of those where you never know what path God's going to lead you down. And in this case, when we were building our corporate headquarters, there was a bunch of land around there, and decided to begin developing that. And over the last 5 years, we now have quite a bit of development around that in Rockwall, Texas, and which I think is just an awesome place, and enjoy living there and having my family grow up there.
Yeah, we're going to show some video from Harbor Heights Rockwall. Tell me more about this development, and when does it open?
So this development has started 3 years ago, and we are almost opening the first phase. There's 3 phases total, and it has office, retail, and restaurant involved, and we're really excited. We have a couple partnerships that we're inking the lease right as we speak.
I think you have a great foresight to be in Rockwall, because some people who don't travel to Rockwall don't know it's like 20 minutes to downtown. If there's no traffic, you can get from your door to downtown Dallas in 20 minutes. Yeah,
it's a kind of it used to be a very good secret that's becoming more well known. I think it's one of the fastest growing counties in America, and so there is definitely people coming out there. It's one of the few places in the world where we still leave our doors unlocked for the most time, and I leave the keys in my car a lot accidentally, and the community is very tight knit, and the schools are great. In fact, one of the schools just won a state championship in baseball, so it's kind of the best of all worlds, in my opinion. It's pretty close to normal Rockwall, I would say.
I think so. It really is. And that view of that lake, let's talk about that. We're going to put the picture up on the screen. That view of that lake is spectacular.
It's unbelievable. There's a lot of rumors about the rock wall or whatever, where that was invented and where it got the name, but it's got an amazing 80 to 100 foot drop from the lake to the top of a ridge. And so there's a lot of houses and trend towers there, and other great developments that get to overlook that and see downtown Dallas. And as far as I know, there's really nothing like that in North Texas. We're pretty flat overall.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as more people are getting back on the road, that person who keeps going north of Frisco and then Salina, I mean, that's a long commute compared to Rockwall.
Yes, I mean, there's development going in Sherman today, and that's got to be at least an hour to hour and a half to Dallas from there at this point. And so, yes, at Rockwall being 20, 25 minutes, that's really close. close in today's traffic standards.
Yeah. And it has a very quaint downtown. It still has like you said, a Norman Rockwell feel to it. Sometimes cities can grow too fast. Is Rockwell growing in a kind of a measured fashion?
Fortunately, I'm not on city council or any government position, and I don't think I'll ever run for those positions. But from an outsider businessman, I would say it's not perfect, but I would say they've done a lot of things right. And to give full credit, there is Heath is a town there as well as Rockwell. They're the two main cities that abut the lake. On the east side, and I think they're both doing a not perfect job, but not a bad job either, obviously, because a lot of people are wanting to come there.
Outstanding. Okay, so final thoughts. We got about a minute left. What would you like to leave the audience with from an HR perspective?
Well, I would say that if you're a small business owner, anywhere between 10 and 150 employees, we've taken companies like Baker Brothers and Milestone Electric from small companies to large companies, and what we were allowed them to do is focus in on what they do and allow us to help them bolster their employee relationships and services and offerings that they're able to give their employees. And we have a really good software that ties it all in, that saves them time. And that way they're not having to hire people or buy all those expensive processes and softwares. And it's a great way to grow really quick and be successful as a small business owner.
Outstanding. Well, congrats on your success, and it's great to have you on the show.
Great, thank you.
You're going to end with two websites. We're going to start with TrendHR.com. That is his HR and benefits company. And then Harbor Heights Rockwell is his real estate company. Thank you so much. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.